this 3-module course, you'll come to understand when and where individuals with obesity experience weight discrimination and how you can help eliminate this form of discrimination within your practice or healthcare facility. Welcome! After completing this module, you'll understand when and where discrimination towards individuals with obesity occurs and the impact that discrimination has on them. So, what exactly is weight discrimination? The Council on Size and Weight Discrimination defines discrimination as an unfair treatment based on prejudice without just grounds. When discrimination is extreme, it is defined as bigotry, an unreasonable attachment to one's own opinions, and an intolerance to any opposing views. When discrimination is directed toward a person's body size, it is called weight discrimination, weight prejudice, or weight bigotry. Let's take a moment to consider your own personal feelings about this topic. What thoughts do you have about weight discrimination? Have you ever discriminated against an overweight person or someone with obesity? If you have, you're not alone, but you can change that behavior. We believe that with education and greater awareness, you will begin to become part of the solution. People with obesity encounter discrimination and negative stereotypes and are often denied equal opportunity in many areas of their lives. For example, they face challenges obtaining healthcare coverage, being treated fairly by employers, and traveling on airplanes and other public transportation. So, how did weight discrimination come to be? Well, there are a few theories that we'd like to share with you. The first theory involves the film industry and its obsession with image. It's been said that the camera puts on 15 pounds, and producers have always wanted their actors to be as thin as possible to counterbalance that theory. We all know society is fascinated with celebrities, idealizing their bodies even though they are not realistic for the average person. Another theory involves the mass production of clothing or ready-to-wear clothing. Prior to the 1920s, most women's clothing was custom-made, and women had not yet begun to compare themselves size-wise with one another. In 1937, the U.S. Department of Agriculture conducted a study of women's body measurements in order to create a sizing system which standardized the entire industry. Since that time, Americans have generally followed the standardized sizing system, with larger-sized individuals being labeled with higher numbers. Comparison of size had never come into play in America until then. Some designers and manufacturers refused to produce the same items for larger individuals as they did for smaller customers. Anything outside of the standard size scale was perceived as not normal. To this day, the fashion industry continues to play a role in weight discrimination as it relates to access to fashionable clothing for individuals with obesity. Today, such anti-obesity attitudes are pervasive throughout society, and a person with obesity continues to face biases. Studies have shown that individuals with obesity are often perceived as having no self-control, being non-compliant, and displaying character flaws. Many of these beliefs fuel the attitudes and actions that create the challenges faced by individuals with obesity. Weight discrimination is a problem that's still considered okay in today's society, one of the last acceptable forms of discrimination, with obesity jokes still on television and playground harassment still occurring at school. And it happens a lot. In the work environment, for example, inequalities can be found in a variety of situations. Biases in hiring often lead to a thinner applicant getting the job before someone with obesity. Inequalities can also be found when it comes to promotions, wages, and termination. Discrimination can be found in our schools. Students with obesity face harassment and rejection from their peers, and even at times biases from their teachers. In addition, individuals with obesity have been found to have lower college acceptance rates. Finally, even at doctors' offices and hospitals, where individuals go to seek medical care, people with obesity may be reluctant to visit because of weight perceptions. This is the one place that respect for the patient should outweigh perceptions of society. Here we see some of the many areas discrimination can and does occur. As with any form of discrimination, these biases exist due to ignorance. This is why it's so important to be educated about the disease of obesity and the need for sensitivity. We hope that this module has brought awareness that weight discrimination is very real. We encourage you to continue to educate others in your practice, hospital, or bariatric firm to establish a culture of sensitivity. As you begin Module 2, you'll be introduced to some real-life stories of weight discrimination.